Over the last year or so, my wife, like quite a few other people on the internet, has gotten into crochet. One day, to get rid of scraps, she made me this adorable little Kirby. She's not a big fan of it, she doesn't like quite how it turned out, so we affectionately call it Derp Kirby. Personally, I think it's adorable. Recently, she started on this one. It's not quite finished yet, but you can tell exactly what it is. And looking at it made me not only super excited, because like how cool is that, but it also made me want to revisit Kirby's first foray into 3D gaming, Kirby in the Forgotten Lands. Kirby's been around since 1992, which means the pink puffball is exactly 1 year younger than me. And from the Game Boy to the NES to the SNES, Kirby has proved that you can have a very fun and accessible platformer. Every Kirby up until the Forgotten Land has been a 2D side-scrolling platformer. Up until the Forgotten Land, the closest thing that we had to a 3D Kirby game was the Crystal Shard on the N64. A Kirby game that used all 3D assets and used some interesting camera angles to sort of not exactly hide the fact that it was still a 2D game, but at least give the illusion of it having more than 2 dimensions. And as fun as that game was, it made Kirby fans really wonder, how fun would Kirby be in 3 dimensions? Well, we now know. Super, super fun. My God, it's a fun game. Insanely fun. That's how fun it would be. That's the amount of fun. Kirby in the Forgotten Land is fairly clever in that it uses a fixed camera that moves with you to still give you large 3D areas to explore with the pink puffball without actually having to do the issue of 360 camera. And unlike most games with fixed cameras, this one's actually pretty good with it. Like, I had very few, if not any, issues with the camera and trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go. One of my biggest issues with fixed camera games is that a lot of times the camera angle sucks. And I can say that for the most part in this game, the camera angles do not suck. So that's a pretty big deal, honestly. Kirby in the Forgotten Realms starts out very similarly to, like, every Kirby game. Kirby's chilling in Dreamland when all of a sudden something crazy goes down. This time, the crazy would be a big portal that sucks him and a bunch of Waddle Dees into a whole separate dimension. There is a whole, like, deep dive on how the time must be different in the Forgotten Land than it is in, you know, Popstar on Kirby's home planet. I'm not gonna get into all that because it's a lot, and there are some much more talented YouTubers than me that already just really do a good job diving into it. Once awakening in the new world, Kirby takes it upon himself to travel around and save all of the captured Waddle Dees. If you've been a fan of the series for a while, it's kind of fun because I personally always felt bad killing the Waddle Dees. They're cute little guys, and in this one, they're your buddies, so you don't have to. You don't have to do any violence to any of them. It's great. After beating your first level, you meet Elfilin, a little blue chinchilla-looking thing, and Elfilin becomes your new little buddy for the game. It's nice. He's a very cute character, honestly. That's kind of Kirby's thing, right? Like, cute characters and nightmare fuel. There's no in between. If you're a Kirby character, you're either cute or you're an eldritch abomination. Now, Kirby in the Forgotten Land isn't exactly groundbreaking in a lot of other aspects other than it's 3D Kirby. But to be fair, like, a lot of Kirby fans, that's all we wanted, you know? Let's try Kirby in 3D before we get too crazy with it. In a lot of ways, you could say this is Kirby's Mario 64. On the surface, this is a fairly normal Kirby game. There are new, you know, creatures, there are new enemies, there are new stakes, but for the most part, this is a Kirby game, but it's 3D, and that's good enough for me, honestly. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted. The levels are all fairly normal. You've got a grassland, you've got a desert land, you've got an obligatory lava land. Everything that you would expect is here. But in addition to all the things you would expect are some really cool things. Like some of the best boss battles that you've ever had in a Kirby game. Objectively, these are just... I've always enjoyed boss battles. Boss battles are one of my favorite parts of a good Nintendo game, of a good game in general. Kirby bosses have always been fun for me to fight, but these bosses, so much better. Most of the main bosses for this game are new bosses created solely for the Forgotten Land, which I think really adds some credibility to the game. I think that's cool. We've got a few versions of ones we've seen before, but nothing that's like egregious. It's also worth mentioning we now have a regular like trash mob enemy that uses the hammer ability instead of having to beat a boss or suck up Waddle Dee's hammer to get the hammer copy ability. So that's cool in and of itself. As you explore the Forgotten Land and you save Waddle Dees, the Waddle Dees all begin to rebuild a little town, a little settlement for them to stay safe in. Waddle Dee Town then becomes your little hub world that you get to go to between missions to heal up, to grab items. The town itself evolves as you get more and more Waddle Dees. Eventually you get stores, you get mini games, you can go fishing, you can work a service job. Some of the mini games are references to older Kirby games. Like there's one that's just a new Kirby Tilt and Tumble, a game that was on the Game Boy. You'll also eventually unlock the arena, which is how you'll eventually get to fight Meta Knight, which is fun. Rather than shoehorning Meta Knight into the narrative, they decided to just have him be an arena guy. And I think that works. It makes sense that he'd be protecting Waddle Dee Town while you're going out and getting more Waddle Dees. It'd be weird to like shoehorn him in as a random bad guy for no reason. Some other things that are changed are that we do not get little lore snippets every time that we hit the pause button like we used to. Instead, a lot of the lore is pieced together both by you and eventually when you get to the end. The end kind of throws the whole story into a big perspective, and it's pretty cool, honestly. I don't care that the game's a few years old. I'm not going to give any spoilers in this. I'm just in general talking about how much I really, really adore the game. I will say one thing that is kind of cool is that this game has post-game content, which you don't always see with Nintendo games. After you beat the final boss, you unlock a new final world. It has slightly distorted, retweaked versions of the various levels you've been through. Everything will be a lot harder. It's fun. There are also 2 difficulty options here. You've got just normal, and then you've got casual. I haven't played the casual yet, but my kids don't complain as much with the casual, so I'm assuming it's not bad. I'm not going to act like the game is difficult. Some of the boss battles did give me issues because I kinda suck. But for anyone who does want a challenge, then the post-game content, I think, really does lend itself well to players that want a little bit more difficulty in their game. It also helps that a lot of the things that are added to this game to make it easier are all optional. You can go to the restaurant and buy items to heal up between worlds. Totally up to you. You collect all those coins, you may as well use them. Eventually you get a store that has temporary upgrades, and you can purchase those if you so choose. In addition, you get a weapon shop. The weapon shop is a gallery of the various power-ups that you've gotten up to this point. All of your different copy abilities are just kept on little mannequins, so you can go in there at any time, choose a copy ability that you want, and just go to whatever level you're wanting to deal with. You want to try to fight a boss with an ability that wasn't available? Go right into the weapon shop, grab that ability. Throughout the levels, you will also see little side levels, little weird little rifts that open up. Those are challenges either for specific power-ups or for Mouthful modes, which is another thing that's new to this game. We'll get to those in a minute. I do these videos by stream of conscience, and those just popped into my head, so un momento. The challenge levels are exactly what you'd think when you hear the word challenge level. They are timed. If you beat them, you get a little crystal. The crystals are used to take to the weapon shop and upgrade your copy abilities. So you can make ones that you really like stronger, or ones that you don't like stronger so that maybe you will like them. Some of the upgrades are even references to other games, like the upgraded needle form is a direct reference to the needle form from Kirby and the Crystal Shard. I just think that's neat. The other new gimmick, the one that I'm sure if you're relatively familiar with this game that you've seen, is the Mouthful modes. The Mouthful modes are abilities attached to objects that are too big for Kirby to fit into his mouth properly. You can suck up a big ring to be able to shoot air out of your mouth. You can suck up a car to become a car Kirby. There are so many, and they're so fun, and they're so creatively used throughout the game. I do kind of wish that there were more of them. Like at one point, you see one that you've already seen before and you're like, oh, this one again. And then eventually you realize, oh, damn it, there aren't any new ones. But you know what? The ones that we have are used so creatively throughout the game that as much as I wanted more, it's not really a complaint because I'm perfectly pleased with what we had. I just enjoyed them so much that I wish there were more. In addition to the Mouthful modes, you also have new copy abilities, 2 of them to be exact. You have the Drill, which lets you burrow under the ground. You can make little circles around enemies, which will cause a little quake, does extra damage, very cool ability. And Ranger, which is just Kirby gets a gun. That's it. The ability is gun. Anyone who ever thought, man, this game, wish Kirby had a gun, he does now. He's got a gun. And in general, the game is, like I said, a fairly straightforward Kirby game. You're gonna find power-ups in the different levels. A lot of times, those power-ups are the ones that would do well against a boss fight or a mini-boss, etc. The big difference here is that in addition to running through the levels and finding your 3 Waddle Dees at the end for completing, you also have a number of hidden Waddle Dees that you get to find, just looking around looking for secrets, like one would in a Kirby game. Most Nintendo games, there's a lot of hidden stuff. They love to hide stuff. In addition to the 3 completion Waddle Dees and the hidden Waddle Dees, you also have a number of little challenges on each level. The challenges are always hidden until you beat the level. Once you've beaten the level, if you have any challenges that you didn't meet, you will have one that unlocks and shows you what it would be. Each challenge awards an additional Waddle Dee to add to your town, and therein lies your replayability. Some of them are beat a boss with a specific copy ability. Some of them are break a bunch of snowmen, you know? It's anything from little things to interesting big things, like finding a secret entrance might get you one. Hitting all the targets that are hidden in a level that has the Ranger ability will get you one. It's nice because it gives you a reason to want to redo a level without it feeling grindy, I think, personally. Like, personally, if I like a Kirby level, I kind of want to do it again. I want to be like, oh, let me try that level with this copy ability instead of that one. So I like that this game has an in-game reward that I can attempt to accomplish when I redo a level. Another thing that's worth pointing out is that the music and the graphics in this game, great. The game looks gorgeous, in my opinion. I know that there are people that just don't like cartoony looking games, and those people are objectively wrong, but you know, this is a pretty game. It's pretty looking. You gotta give me that. It's pretty looking. It doesn't have to look photorealistic to be pretty. That's not how pretty works. It has been said that the soundtrack here isn't as memorable as a lot of other Kirby soundtracks, but even then, I think this one really does have some just good bangers. Whenever you find an invincibility candy, the regular invincibility song is replaced with a guitar riff version of that song. Really cool. The main theme that you get in the first world, you get to hear different versions of throughout the game, and I think that's really nice. It does kind of get it stuck in my head. I also really like vibing to the song in the Waddle Dee Town, so I mean, that's cool. I can listen to that song and fish and just be happy in this game. That's fun. I think more games need optional fishing. It might not be my favorite activity in person, but I've really enjoyed Kirby fishing. Overall, I would say that this game is amongst my favorites on the Switch. It's very fun, it's not the most challenging, but it does offer some challenge. It looks great, it plays great, it's just a fun game. And if the thing that's keeping you from playing Kirby games is that you don't like 2D side-scrolling platformers, well, here you go. Here's one for you to try, Cade. Love you, buddy. Overall, I just think this is a really fun game. I think more people need to play it. If you have played it, let me know how you felt about it, because I clearly adored it. It's a legitimately very fun game. Now I just need to go play Kirby's Return to Dreamland DX. Haven't done that one yet. I will, though. It looks awesome. Anyway, I think that'll be about it for this one. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, comment, ring that bell. Just do all the things, please. I'd appreciate that. Just all the things. If you didn't like this video, comment anyway, I guess. But anyway, I've been Dogface. I'll see you guys next time. Be kind to each other.